This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the morning of Tuesday, December 31st, 2024. I'm Alex Brown. A long-short equity firm headquartered in Roanoke, Virginia that says it is the largest shareholder for Fort Wayne-based Vera Bradley is calling on the company's board of directors to consider strategic alternatives to bring the retail brand back to profitability. IIB's Mark Mazurek has the story.
Fund One Investments, LLC, said in a letter to Chairman Robert Hall that the board should consider taking the company private or a potential sale among such alternatives. The firm said the company is experiencing a, quote, perfect storm as a result of a history of value deconstruction and questionable capital allocation, poor recent operational performance, a failed brand turnaround, extremely negative macro sentiment for fashion brands, and less than $60 million of public float. Over the last few years, Vera Bradley has been focused on Project Restoration, which was designed to return the luggage, handbag, and fashion accessory designer back to profitability. Earlier this year, Vera Bradley launched a brand refresh aimed at, quote, reinvigorating the business and restoring brand relevance, end quote. Despite such efforts, the company reported a fiscal third quarter net loss of almost $13 million earlier this month, compared to a net income of just over $5 million during the same period last year. Taking the company private, the firm said, would allow Vera Bradley to focus on the brand revival without quarterly earnings, create cost savings unavailable in the private markets, and give management more time to focus on the business. Fund One also says it believes a strategic or financial buyer would be able to acquire the company at an attractive premium for shareholders. Fund One said it was pleased to hear that the board, quote, believes everything is on the table to maximize shareholder value, end quote, during a previous conversation earlier this month. I'm Mark Mazurek for Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Governor Eric Holcomb is giving a one-time bonus to all state employees, but no pay raises this year after a modest revenue forecast. That stipend will cost state coffers between $20 million and $22 million, according to budget officials. Indiana has about 32,000 full-time state employees, the highest in recent memory. The number has grown steadily except for a dip around the pandemic. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
To succeed, you need to stay informed. You need to be engaged. And let's face it, you need to set yourself apart from the rest by connecting with a company that brings you the best. Because in today's environment, business is an ever-moving target, and we'll help you chase it. IBJ Media. The best of business is in us. Get started at ibjmedia.com/youngprofessional.
Fishers-based smart mailbox startup Arrive AI intends to go public via a direct listing on the NASDAQ Global Market, according to paperwork the company filed Thursday with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. Pending approval from both the SEC and the NASDAQ, Arrive expects to become a publicly traded company in 2025 under the ticker symbol ARAI. Founder and CEO Dan O'Toole.
It gets us the ability to raise capital through other means that aren't, available to a small private company at this point. So just the credibility and the gravitas of being, listed on the NASDAQ opens up so many doors. It's really it's the definite way for us to go at this point.
The company has developed a smart mailbox, a climate-controlled, secure receptacle for human or drone-based mail pickup and delivery. O'Toole is the company's majority owner, holding 86% of its shares. He said he plans to sell a small number of his shares, but intends to retain his majority ownership stake in the company. 3 more secretaries in Governor-elect Mike Braun's cabinet will also lead agencies, bringing the total number of people serving dual roles to 5. Braun unveiled a new cabinet structure earlier this month where 8 appointed secretaries will oversee verticals or related agencies. Each would get a salary and have the power to hire additional staff, adding new positions under Braun's administration. The 3 additional secretaries also serving as agency heads now includes Mike Speedy, the Secretary of Business Affairs, who will also lead the Department of Labor, David Adams, the Secretary of Commerce, who will also lead the Indiana Economic Development Corporation, and Jennifer Ruth Green, the Secretary of Public Safety, who will also be the Director of Homeland Security. They join Katie Jenner, who will be both Secretary and Agency Head of Education, and Lisa Hirschman, the Secretary of Management and Budget, who is also the Director of the Office of Management and Budget. Check out the latest episode of the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.